Not sure about what players to buy or sell for Game Week 3? Keep watching this video to get all the right answers. So as we'll dive right into it without wasting any time, our first player to buy, our first recommendation is Kyle Walker from Man City. Now I know a lot of people are trying to sell players like Robertson, even a Perisic, because they probably don't feel that there's enough value. And there's a case to be made here because you can downgrade these players, get some extra cash, and go for options from the likes of Chelsea and Man City. And here, guys, we've gone for Kyle Walker. Now, Walker is pretty much a nailed option at the moment. Again, that could change in the next coming weeks. But I feel for right now, for at this stage, I think Walker is pretty much nailed. We know that he's also playing as an inverted wing back in that Pep system. But again, I mean, he doesn't really possess much going forward. He's probably not going to give you any assists or maybe even goals. But guys, Man City have a great run of fixtures. They can get a lot of clean sheets. They've looked solid in defense. And I think Walker will tick along pretty nicely. He's only 5.1 million. So you're paying a smaller price, I mean a much lesser price for a premium defense, for a premium defender. And I think right now, because everybody kind of has Cancelo, everybody kind of has Reece James as well. So you're probably not going to get a lot of benefit if you just own one defender from these teams, guys. If you just own Cancelo, I mean, you're really not going to get a lot. And you can double up on that advantage by going for a Kyle Walker, who's great value at this particular price. So if you probably do not have any other fires to put out, maybe you've kind of figured out the way to deal with a Leon Bailey or a Neto, for example, I think Kyle Walker is a great option this week. He's going to give you clean sheets. He's at least nailed for the next 2 or 3 weeks minimum, but I think you can still go for him. I don't think so he's going to lose his place that quickly, and he's a great option. Now, our next option is another defender, another premium defender, or at least from a premium team. We're talking about Marc Cucurella, guys, from Chelsea. Now, again, going by that same logic of maybe downgrading a Robertson, even a Perisic, if you don't want to go for that second Man City defender, guys, let's say you probably already have a Kevin De Bruyne and a Haaland, or maybe you're looking to get in a second attacker from the Man City midfield, you can go for a Cucurella. I think Cucurella, at least from whatever we've known from Tuchel's comments in the press, I think he's at least nailed for the next few weeks because Chilwell is still not match fit. We know that Chilwell's probably going to take off minutes from him. He's probably going to come off from the bench. Maybe Cucurella gets about 60-70 minutes. But I think for the next few weeks, he's pretty much nailed. We know for a fact that he will be on set pieces. We know for a fact that he will be on corners. He has a great delivery as well. And there's also a chance, there's also a lot of chatter in the community that he can also play in that left centre back position. Of course, when he plays in that position, his potential might not be as high. And anyways, his potential might not be that great as say, someone like a Reece James, for example. But I still feel he's a great option to go for. He's also only costing 5 million, guys. And if you want to double up on that Chelsea defense, which looks a bit stronger now as compared to the preseason, I think he's a great option to go for. If I have to rate both, I think I'll probably rate Cucurella as a slightly riskier pick than a Walker, for example. I think there is more potential upside with a Cucurella as well. But with the Chilwell news, with the fact that he can still come up and take that place, I think there is a certain element of risk which might not be the case with the Walker. So if you want to go absolutely safe, you go Walker. If you want to take a little bit of a risk, if you're looking for a slightly short-term punt, I think Cucurella is a great option to go for. Guys, our next potential buys are two midfielders. I think where a lot of people are kind of getting confused in terms of which one to go for. Now, I know a lot of people have lost their patience with a Leon Bailey from Aston Villa. A lot of people are also looking at possibly selling Neto, who for me at least is not a priority transfer out this week. But in any case, guys, if you want to make those changes, if you want to take those midfielders out, I think both Rodrigo and Pascal Gross are really good options. Now, Gross has probably slightly better fixture this game week because Rodrigo is facing Chelsea, so that might be a trickier fixture. It might be a bit difficult for Rodrigo to score points this week, guys, but again, Leeds are a good attack. They can score goals. He's playing really well. He has a lot of goal threat. Pascal Gross, on the other hand, I think he's a more of a balanced player. He will give you creativity. He will give you assists. He can score goals as well because he's playing in a much more advanced position. Now, with Brighton signing a new left back, I think someone like a Trossard might go further up the field, might go further up the pitch, might even share minutes. We don't know that yet. So there is a certain element of risk involved with a Pascal Gross, but I still feel him being on penalties, him being on possible set pieces, I think he's a great option to go for. So if you don't have the money, I think Pascal Gross is a great option. If you, let's say, want to save some money as well, I think Gross in that scenario as well. He has good fixtures. Brighton have looked really good in attack. And I slightly trust the Brighton attack a little bit more at the moment. I know possibly a lot of people might say that Leeds are a better team, are a better attack. But Rodrigo will definitely give you goal threat. I'm just not very sure about the potential here, guys. Again, this is just one strategy to go for in terms of, let's say, if you've already made up your mind to replace a Bailey with a certain like-to-like kind of a player. I think these are really good options to go for. I slightly prefer Pascal Gross over a Rodrigo at this moment. He's also costing less money, so you can possibly save that money. Maybe you can use that to upgrade other players in midfield or in defense, and that would be an ideal strategy to go for. Now, coming to the potential sells for this week for Game Week 3, guys, the first player that you should sell if you have him is Darwin Nunes from Liverpool. Now, we know that he got that red card in the last fixture and he would be suspended for 3 games. So he's of course not going to play for the next 3 fixtures. Liverpool are probably going to play with Firmino. They're going to start with Firmino. That also kind of alters Salah's and Luis Diaz's position. And I think that'll be very interesting to see if they can better their attacking returns as compared to what they've done in the recent past. But Darwin Nunes needs to be sold, guys. There are a lot of options that you can go for. You can go for an Ivan Toney if you want to downgrade that amount a little bit. If you don't have Jesus, I think you should definitely have him. If you probably want to go towards a Haaland or a Kane, that's also an option, guys. And I slightly prefer Kane at the moment, but I think he should definitely be sold. His numbers have been great, so once he returns, I think we can probably think again of having him in our FPL teams. But at this moment, at this stage, guys, I don't really see it makes any sense for us to keep him on our benches and then probably just play with some other players. I think there's a lot of value in there, and you can actually upgrade a lot of the other positions, maybe in defense, maybe in midfield, and then probably make advantage or make use of that additional money. Guys, the next player to sell is an Aston Villa player. Now we are kind of getting into the Aston Villa territory where they were always short-term options. A lot of people were trying to go heavy on them in terms of defense, in terms of attack as well. We have Matty Cash here in defense, guys. I think he's definitely somebody that you should probably think of selling. There's so many options, as we kind of discovered earlier in the video. We have Walker, we have Kovaella, we have the likes of Zinchenko, maybe even an Arsenal defender, let's say someone like a Saliba, for example, if you want to save some money, guys. So there are a lot of outlets to go for. Aston Villa look a bit dodgy in defense. Matty Cash as well. I think the fixtures that are coming up, I don't think so he'll be attacking a lot. I mean, he won't be bombing forward a lot of times. I think he'll have to do a lot of defending, and I'm not very convinced with the Aston Villa defense, with how they're defending at the moment, guys. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done by Gerrard in that department. I think you should definitely sell him, considering that there are a lot of good options that you can go for. Coming to the next set of players, we have a couple of more Aston Villa players here, guys. If you have the likes of Leon Bailey, if you have somebody like a Philippe Coutinho, for example, I mean, both of them have already dropped in price, but if you have these players, guys, I think you should definitely think of selling them. Maybe Leon Bailey could be an exit next week if you, let's say, have a certain player on your bench. Maybe you have a Williams, for example. Maybe you have somebody else that you can play ahead of Leon Bailey. Maybe you can keep him if you have an additional transfer. But again, if you can probably downgrade that to a 4.5 million option and upgrade or make certain upgrades in defense, that is also perfectly viable, guys. But I think there's not a lot of room for improvement in terms of their FPL potential, in terms of what a Coutinho or a Leon Bailey can give us right now, guys. The fixtures are gonna get tough. I'm not really sure about how many goals an Aston Villa can score against the tougher teams, considering that there will be some rotation. They have a lot of attackers. We've already seen the combination of Ings and Watkins as a front two, as an up top two, that was working really well, and I don't think so Bailey's probably gonna get starts. Maybe we cannot say the same thing for Coutinho. Maybe Coutinho gets more minutes than a Bailey, guys, but in that 6.9 million price bracket, in that 7 million price bracket, I just don't see a lot of worth there. If you want to take a punt, maybe go for somebody like a Zaha. You have options like Rodrigo, Pascal Gross, as we already mentioned, and then you probably get to a category where you downgrade to a huge amount, and then you probably use that money to upgrade or maybe make certain upgrades elsewhere. Maybe you go for a premium defender, maybe you go for a Jesus, maybe you go for an Ivan Toney as well. I mean, there are a lot of avenues to go for, but I think both of these players need to be sold. Philippe Coutinho a lot more than Leon Bailey this week, but I think you should still have an exit plan for Bailey. I think you should sell these players. They don't have a lot of potential, and I'm not sure how much value can they give us in the next few weeks. So these were our list of players that you probably should buy or sell this week, guys. Of course, we've not considered players like Odegaard. We've not considered players from the Man United team who you should definitely sell, because we kind of did that last week itself. But there are a lot of players that should be on your selling or buying list, but these are the priority options for this week, guys. They have good fixtures coming up. They all represent a lot of value. If you see that they're also not very expensive, so that you can easily get them in your FPL teams. Yes, you can go for Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, you can probably go for a Son, but those are different options that you should probably think of. I mean, getting to those players is not that easy, and I think they're not priority buys or sells anyways in any capacity. Guys, do let me know what you think about a buying and selling list of players for this week. Do let me know which players are you buying and selling for Game Week 3. So that'll be all for this video, guys. I hope you like what you saw today. If you liked our video, if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. Do subscribe to our Insanely Football YouTube channel as well for more FPL content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you Insaners next time.